So I said,
Yo, we're
no,
back.
ping pong balls. I said, ping pong balls.
That's why they got lodged, right? And
Yeah.
that was the obstruction. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, it's always dangerous. It's always dangerous. You always gotta be careful with that.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We're back.
Hello.
We're back. We're back. We took a week off
We
last
are.
week. We're back this week. Jason and I are very, very honored to have our guest this week. The incomparable, innumerable.
I thought you were saying
illogical,
competent. The
Jim
incompetent.
Ludwig.
Well, we could.
Jim Ludwig,
Yeah,
the owner.
I'm kind of surprised. I
creator.
thought this was Jim Ludwig, the famous Minnesota demolition car driver, and I was all excited because I've never talked to a demolition racer before, and here it's Jim Ludwig, from Dark Sword, which is a great miniatures company, produces excellent works of art.
Right. And we're going to talk about that a lot
miniatures.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Jim,
Michael,
how are you doing
Jason.
today?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Yeah. You have a fantastic room behind you. I think people are going to be commenting on all the stuff you have behind you.
I know.
Some
Look at
art.
Look at the
Some
art.
miniatures. Yeah.
You got a
fantastic.
Parkinson back there?
Yeah.
Oh golly,
Easily. What do you got back there? Tell
easily
us.
there. Elmore, Frazetta, Elmore, Dieterlizzi, Elmore, Caldwell, Elmore.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Just
lots of
just
stuff.
dropping names. They're all signed and numbered and limited editions.
Some are originals. Like the Dieterlizzi one, that's
Yeah.
an original. Same with that Elmore one, and I had some more, but there was a big shot collector that wants to open up a Dungeons and Dragons kind of museum. He's been kind of buying up all of the original TSR Dungeons and Dragons artwork and stuff like that from the 70s and 80s and beyond into the 90s and stuff like that. So I had more, but
Did you sell them the
slated
ones
to be
where
in a
you
museum.
paid to have your? Did you sell them the ones where you paid to have your own face painted over the hero's face?
Yeah.
No, those are still
Chick's
here.
No. Yeah, the
That's
Uday
so
Kusei ones.
And so, no, I've got some originals that these were the ones that got gobbled up. Were ones that were TSR, TSR then WotC
famous covers
owned and produced. Yeah, famous covers and stuff. Like I had the original cover for Oriental Adventures that Jeff Easley did, the Orange Spine, first edition rule book and stuff like that, and a Dragonlance cover, and so all sorts of cool stuff. Yeah, so, but.
Well, we have been teasing having Jim on for months, literally months. I think I started teasing it back in March. So that's been a 4-month lead-up process. And
you've been on me
due
for
to
a good
my
year.
fault.
Yeah, you've been on me for a good year about it. And
We've been pushing.
I finally, and so we
finally
finally got
kicked
it worked
in.
out. Yeah, you guys
No,
ran to the bottom of the list.
We finally had enough other guests that were worthy that then he thought,
Yes.
well, maybe I could,
Right.
because when
You
we
just
started,
kept going down and down and down and down until you hit that lower new rock level that you found, and you found me, and you said, okay, well, we work with Jim, we might as well have him on too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, nice. And so today, while we're talking to Jim, if you guys are familiar, have seen this on Reaper Live, I'm working on the Sophie for this year. So
The
this
Sophie?
is sculpted by.
It's not a Dark Sword
by
piece.
very-
So, yeah.
Who
It's not
actually
Dark
sculpted
Reaper
a
pieces.
Sophie this year? Oh my God!
Oh my God! Did Jason? Did you actually sculpt
My very first Sophie.
Sophie?
Absolutely,
Your
the
very
first
first
time I've been able to
Nice.
sculpt Sophie.
And she is full of badassiness.
That's a very
that a
nice
word?
miniature. Is she barefoot?
Thank you.
Yeah.
She is barefoot. Izzy drew her barefoot. The backstory is that she's sort of based on the Sophie from last year, only she's had a really rough year. So she's only got parts of her armor left, and she's got her clothing is made out of the tattered sails of her sunken ship. So there's a whole lot of things that work. She's got little voodoo dolls on her waist, along her belt. Nice. So it's a very good backstory. You know how Izzy is. She's always got a great framework for each piece that she draws. So this was a pleasure to work on. I really had a good time doing it.
That's really cool. I'm going to have to snap one of them up. So
she's very fantastic. She's awesome.
Yeah,
she's
Michael's
awesome.
Got 2. I don't have one. Michael's got 2. That's the way things work sometimes. 3? You son of a gun.
No.
Man, I said gun. I must be restraining myself today.
I know. You're doing well. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I'm doing very well. Anyway, back to Jim.
Back to Jim. Jim, we like to, when we have our guests on for the very first time, and we're going to have you on again after this if you totally don't, stink it up. But
unless he bombs, then we're not going to. We're going to erase this from the. Yeah.
Well, if the ratings go down, it's all Jim's fault, not ours.
Right. Right.
Oh, you mean the short notice? Like, hey, yesterday, Jim, do you want to be on tomorrow? That whole thing.
It was hardly short notice.
That's
you got it yesterday. Some of our guests get.
It's all good.
Some of our guests get 45 minutes. So there you go.
And if you're Gene, you might get 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're Gene, you have to dial in after we started sometimes.
Well, that's me and Gene, and so.
I see Rhonda on. I see Lord Dave on. I saw Gene on a second ago. Rings is on.
I think I see Patrick on.
Me and Gene is on?
Bombshell Minis.
Wow, Bombshell Minis. Is that Patrick Keith?
And Rhonda?
It's Patrick or someone using, maybe it's Vicky, but it's somebody.
Yeah.
Ooh, Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
He sculpted a bunch of the new releases.
Bobby's on.
This week. Mr. Jackson.
Gene is doing good.
All right.
Yes. There are all kinds of people.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, Bombshell Mini says they love the new Dark Sword D. Terlizzi releases.
Well, and Patrick did 4 new Easily releases, too, that are up. If Patrick would go look.
There's Bob and Julie. Yeah. Bob and Julie are on.
Julie are on as well, too.
Wow, I feel like this is like a mini ReaperCon. Just hanging out in Artist Alley.
It is.
Just chopping it up.
So. We have one of the best chat groups in the whole Reaper network, as far as I'm concerned. You should see who shows up.
Nice. Yeah. Well, this is pretty cool.
We're
the number one.
It's Patrick at Bombshell. He confirmed.
Yeah.
Hi, Patrick.
Yeah, we're the number 1 rated show on Reaper Twitch. We don't buy our viewers like that other show does.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about what other show. What other show?
There are no other shows, really.
We're the real show that combines gaming and geek culture and other stuff, whatever, that other tagline.
Nothing as exhaustively researched as this one.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, Jim.
Interesting.
Jim. Origin story time.
Michael.
Wow. Tell us a little bit of why you're in this whole little world. I mean, so we're going to go pre-Dark Sword here. Like, tell us about your discovery and when you discovered D&D or the miniatures or the fantasy realm, wherever you want to take it. How old were you? What kept you in it? That kind of stuff.
Well, that's an interesting question. Golly, I was like 11 years old, and for Christmas, I was given the Earl Otis Dungeons and Dragons basic box set, right, from TSR. And it was an aunt of mine that gave me this, and I remember it very vividly going downstairs. It was very Norman Rockwell-esque. Downstairs by the fire, reading it, and just getting lost like in these books or whatever, and like, what on earth is this? And I was this was like in 81, 82. I was a Star Wars fan, built Legos, built model ships, battleships, airplanes, all that stuff as a kid. And I don't know what the reason was. I just took to it being Dungeons and Dragons. And a year or two later, I discovered that there was these little lead miniatures that you could use in your games to show marching order, or if you had complex battles or something going on, you could use them in that regard, for your games, or you could also just buy them and make dioramas, paint them up and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, that spoke to me as much, if not more, than the Dungeons and Dragons game, which I was I was into Dungeons and Dragons before it was cool, as I'm sure a lot of folks, older folks, that still do miniatures and do Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, where you kind of had to keep it on the down low. Otherwise, you might get kind of pushed around in the hallway at junior high or in high school by the jocks and stuff like that. And so I just, for whatever reason, really dug the miniatures. And I started going to hobby stores like in the malls back in the day when we had malls. And I would only do official Dungeons and Dragons miniatures back in the day. They had a few box sets that they released in some blister packs when actual TSR was doing them. Grenadier had the license, and then TSR had the license, and then Games Workshop had the license, and then there was a little bit of gap. Then Real Partha had the license, and so this was back right after Grenadier had lost the license, and then TSR had the license, so it had all these awesome Jeff Easley covers, who was also doing the covers for the Orange Spine Dungeons and Dragons reissue books for first edition. And it was like, oh my God, these are so cool. They're so cool. I got to have all the official stuff, right? But then I started discovering these other companies like Grenadier and Real Partha, and their miniatures were like much better and cooler and more imaginative than what I was seeing come out of the official Dungeons and Dragons stuff that was licensed and put out. Well, it wasn't licensed even. It was officially licensed, but it was put out by TSR, right? So it was the one time that they didn't have it like outsourced to another company like Grenadier, Games Workshop, or Real Partha. And I just remember like the first time it was this company called Grenadier Miniatures, and it was John Dennett. It was this Frost Giant, which I still have to this day. The first, and this is the version with the axe. They did a variant version a few years later with like a battle hammer, and they kind of modified it and stuff like that. But this was the first miniature I ever bought. It was like $3.50, but I got $1 off of it because the top of the axe was broken off, and I had to glue that on myself. And so I was, because it was broken, the blister pack. I was like, wow, what's up with that? And they gave me $1 off. So anyways, so that's like the first non-official miniature I ever, purchased back in the day. And the rest, as they say, was kind of history. I became a huge miniature kind of connoisseur or collector, painting them, using them in games and stuff like that for our Dungeons and Dragons games and whatnot. And my big main go-tos were obviously Grenadier and Real Partha. And that's where I came to know sculptors such as Tom Meyer, Dennis Mize, Julie Guthrie, who was the third sculptor ever brought on with Partha. Tom was the first one. He was an owner. Then they brought in Dennis Mize, and then they brought in Julie Guthrie. And then, obviously it just, over the 80s, they brought in all sorts of other sculptors, the 80s and 90s as well, that made their mark, with Real Partha and whatnot. And some of those sculptors then went on to sculpt for Reaper Miniatures. Julie Guthrie still does to this day. I know Bob Rodolfi does, and those two are on the show, so hey there. And then like Dennis Mize, who did pass away, back in the early 2000s, he even sculpted for Reaper for, I think he did like 25 miniatures. Jeff Grace, all these great sculptors that I kind of grew up on, and appreciated what they did at various points in their careers with these companies, and that I really liked their miniatures and like how they approach miniatures and whatnot. A whole ton of them are still around today, still kicking butt and taking names today. And so fast forward into the 90s, getting out of college, Real Partha lost the license mid-90s for the Dungeons and Dragons line. But they started up a license to kind of replace it based off the artwork of Larry Elmore. And I'm a huge Larry Elmore fan with his artwork and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is so cool. Well, sadly, a couple years later, Real Partha, they went out of business, or they got gobbled up by FASA. Or they went out of business, then got bought by FASA, who then did like the Mage Knight stuff, and then they started doing the plastics and all of that stuff. And it was kind of a really dark time where it's like, oh my God, Grenadier had gone out of business, Real Partha had gone out of business, and lo and behold, this company out of Texas, who I'd never even heard of, but I saw a magazine ad for this huge, like 12-inch dragon that Jim Johnson sculpted named Goth. I was like, oh my God, there's this company called Reaper Miniatures. And I'm like, holy moly. And so I went to my local game store and was like, are you guys going to be getting this in? And like, yeah, we can get that in. They got it in, whatever. And from that point on, from like the late 90s, I was a Reaper Miniatures guy, right? I had somehow become friends with Larry Elmore during this time. And this all does have a point, so just bear with me. Long story long, I had become buddies with Larry Elmore. And I was like, hey, Larry, you gotta go to this company called Reaper Miniatures and have them start making miniatures based off of your artwork. Reaper had done a really cool little limited edition vignette set off of Keith Parkinson's art called the Druid Stone that Sandra Garrity sculpted. It was quite nice for the time, right? It was a really good miniature. I've got it in my collection, and I know it's pretty highly sought after these days.
That is a neat piece.
Yeah, it's a neat piece. And I told Larry, I said, you gotta, go to this company and see if they'll take on the license, and I need more miniatures based off your artwork type of thing, right? And like a couple of years went by, and he never did it. And it just finally got to the point where I said, Larry, how about if I just start up a miniatures company on the side, because I was doing my corporate America gig and all that stuff. And I said, how about if I just start one up on the side and start, getting like Tom Meyer, Dennis Mize, these other sculptors to do miniatures based off of your artwork. Would that be something that you would be interested in? He said, sure, yeah, write it up, let's do it, right? And so from that point on, which was like 2002, we did the deal, and 19 years later, and over 1,000 miniatures later and counting, right? Here we are. And so next July, I think, July, August, late July, somewhere in there will be our 20th anniversary. And, it's been a hell of a ride. I've worked with, Jason, Michael, Bobby, Jackson, Gene Van Horn, Julie Guthrie, obviously Dennis Mize, Jeff Grace, Tom Meyer, Dave Summers, Christine Van Patten, Patrick Keith. Well, this is just sculptors, and then obviously, Rhonda Bender, Jan Haley, Marika Reimer, Kat, all sorts of Allie back when she used to paint miniatures, Derek Schubert. It's just been super cool, right? 19 years and just lots of cool stuff. We've got miniature ranges, obviously Larry Elmore, Keith Parkinson, Clyde Caldwell, Jeff Easley, the Fab Four, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, whatever you want to call them, from TSR. So we got those licenses. George R. R. Martin was a fan of the miniatures that we were doing. He approached me. We got the license for the Song of Ice and Fire / Game of Thrones, book series that he does. And then years later, we brought in Tony DiTerlizzi, Stephanie Law, and we do our own miniatures that just, aren't based off any specific art or anything like that. They're just cool miniatures that we come up with ideas for. And we do a line of anthropomorphic critters. And, we do lots of stuff. I mean, for those people that, aren't familiar with Darksword, definitely swing by the site and check it out. But, it's been an interesting
website,
ride.
Jim?
Darkswordminiatures.com. So
okay,
all
one word. Dark Sword Miniatures, right? All one word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Darksword Miniatures. Miniatures is what usually gets people hung up, is the word miniatures, where the IATURES comes in or whatever. But
it's kind of a filter. You have to be able to spell to get to your site. That's okay.
Well, and so. And it's a mouthful as well. It's a pretty big, URL, darkswordminiatures.com type of thing. But anywho, so that's kind of the abbreviated or long story long, if you will, version of it.
Long
from
story,
like
super
basic.
Long.
Oh, you're a funny guy.
Here comes the bus.
It wasn't I got bit by a venomous spider or a crow. I got bit by a venomous crow, and then here I am, with superpowers or anything like that. And so so it's been an interesting ride, and we're still kicking butt and taking names, and there's been a lot of upheaval, and companies that have come and gone. since we started, and we started back in 2002, which was pre-Kickstarter, all of that stuff, right? And so we had to do it the old-fashioned way, the hard way. So
you in fact recently acquired quite a large group of miniatures. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. There's a company that used to be called Dragon Blood Miniatures, owned by Eric Bouchard. He then kind of went away for a few years, then came back and rebranded the company as Antimatter Games. They got a couple games that they made, like one's called Deep Wars, one is called Shadow Sea, and the Deep Wars is like underwater, and the Shadow Sea one is like, I guess, takes place around water. And so they did all these really cool, like, human, steampunk, monster, underwater type of miniatures, or around water miniatures, dinosaurs, you name it, fish, giant shrimp, mantis stuff, all sorts of cool stuff.
Some really great Bob Ollie pieces in there, to drop another fantastic sculptor name.
Yeah, very Cthulhu-esque, like deep underwater, deep water type of stuff. Very creepy. They're called like celophids or something like that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, some really cool stuff. Draconid type of stuff, which we call Dragonkin or Dragonmen, whatever you want to call them.
Pat's got stuff in there too.
Yeah, Pat's got.
Patrick's,
hey, one thing we forgot to mention, PokeTools. So, Jim, you're going to be getting a PokeTool in the mail since you are a guest on the show.
Nice.
But for every three subs, we will be giving away a PokeTool today. So
nice.
I forgot to mention it earlier, but it's usually about this time that everybody's been jumping in. So it's good to mention it now. Every three subs, we're going to give away a PokeTool.
Julie, with an assist from Bob on the lettering.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Very good, Jason. I forgot that. Yeah. And so here you go. And when you get one in the mail, this is what it'll look like.
Nice.
Crow's Nest PokeTool.
I got a skull PokeTool from Reaper, which it's in with all my Reaper paints.
And there's another one in this. I think there's another one in the swag. Isn't that right? In the swag for ReaperCon, I believe there's a third PokeTool. Also sculpted, I believe, by Julie and Bob.
Nice.
Did you know, Jim? Nice. The only way to get a Crow's Nest PokeTool is to either A, be a guest on the show, or, which you big timed us forever, and we finally got you on, but you're going to get a PokeTool anyways, or win one on the show with the number of subs. So, yeah, we just have a drawing at the end, and we go from there. So,
and you were able to get Ron to finally get out there and cast those up for you, so that's pretty cool.
Looks like Cybestorm just gifted a whole bunch of subscriptions in order
to... Thank you very much, Cyberstorm.
In order to promote that for us. So thank you very much for that.
Well, Jim,
too, and Michael, really quick, didn't we talk about doing some sort of for a couple of your guests? The only caveat would be a USA continental USA type of guest. Well, we'll do some Dark Sword gift certificates for people that want to pick up some of the some Dark Sword stuff and check it out. So for sure, if you got subs like
giveaway. Yeah, for every PokeTool we give away, we'll also give away a Dark Sword gift certificate of, Jim, how much?
I don't know, $25, whatever. I don't know. What do the people usually do for this sort of stuff? I don't know.
What does $25 get you off a Dark Sword website?
A couple miniatures, or 2 or 3, couple minis,
free miniatures.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a great deal.
25,
and I'll ship them out. I'll ship them out for free. Let's just call it $30. That way you get 3 miniatures, like 3 of our standard $10 miniatures, or if you want to get a couple $15 miniatures, whatever, and then I'll ship for free. But the only caveat would just be, because with COVID and everything and all these delays with international shipping, I'd just like to keep it in the USA if possible, just because it's just cleaner and easier, and we know that people are going to get their stuff, and there's not going to be a 2-3 month delay, which I've seen on a lot. I've seen on too many packages here over the last 6-7 months, where things just are wonked out with international shipments.
Well, maybe down the road, when we have you on again, third time or whatever, maybe we can extend that worldwide if things are better as far as the shipping goes.
Absolutely.
But for now,
absolutely,
US is great. So we'll get that done. We'll need to figure out a way to get.
I love the international fans of Dark Sword.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just look for
whatever gift
you guys to get me that
you get.
information.
Yeah, we'll get that to you. But yeah, and Lord Dave says it. So Michael, the rogue miniature that you produced, Jim, it should go up. I mean, whoever gets it, a gift certificate should probably purchase one of those too.
Michael,
you
rogue?
and Kaya. Yeah, the
Kaya.
one that Izzy did the artwork for, that Michael now's got hopefully in a place of honor. We did Michael is like a steampunk kind of rogue with one of his dogs.
No, it was
may
based
she
on
rest
a
in peace.
Game, yeah, it was based on a favorite game of mine, Bloodborne, and he was one of my characters.
So, nice.
That's pretty neat. I didn't. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Izzy has done a few different tribute pieces, like with Jen Haley, Marika,
Ron,
Michael, Ron from Reaper. He's in there. He could be a good match for you, Michael. You two could be like adventuring buddies, going out on adventures, getting into trouble together.
Well, you need a clever crow show one. You need a crow's nest show one then.
Well, maybe we can talk to Izzy about doing a tribute of you, Jason. Then we can pair you up with Michael, and so you got the total buddy adventure thing cooking.
Yeah, that could be good.
So yeah, I mean, even Allison got a tribute miniature. Yes,
right.
We could figure it out, and then you could go adventuring with all the pug miniatures that we've done of your pugs and stuff like that over the years, Jason. And so yes, you can go out adventuring.
Yeah.
So.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the Critter Kingdoms, because that's always been a special thing and a nice honor. You started off with the frogs and these anthropomorphic, if I'm saying the word right, characters that are, raccoons or frogs or otters or whatever.
Or dogs or cats.
Or dogs or cats. And
pangolins,
corn
toads.
It was funny. I had seen you do some tribute animals, and my first golden retriever passed away, Zoe. And Jim, I don't know if you remember it this way or not. This is the way I remember it. You actually came up to me. I knew you, but I didn't know you super well. We joked around and stuff, but you actually came up to me and you had heard that Zoe had passed, and you were like, dude, got to do a tribute to her.
Oh yeah. I love doing stuff like that for you and Jason, Rhonda. You a lot of people I work with from a dark sword perspective. I mean, when people have tough losses and stuff like that, those are big members of their family, and it makes me super happy every time, like when I send a Frankie the Pug miniature to Japan, or an Archer the Grumpy Cat Wizard, Rhonda's epically awesome cat. May he rest in the underworld, or wherever Archer is, because he had a grumpy personality, a big time personality. It just makes me super happy to kind of do these things, and we've done tribute miniatures for our own miniature schnauzers and stuff like that here at our house. But I will say, I think Michael's got as many, if not more, tribute miniatures for his dogs than I've got of my own dogs, and so he's got that going for him, which is nice. So,
and Jason had sculpted up a little Zoe laying down on the ground just randomly for me, and I posted up on my Facebook page, and you reached out and you said, I want to buy it. And so that ended up being a miniature. It wasn't even planned to be in as well. So I wanted to we're going to show off some miniatures here in a little bit, but I wanted to ask you a question I don't even really know the answer to. When we first met, you were doing your corporate job while you were developing Dark Sword. And then just been a couple of years, 3 or 4 years now, that you said goodbye to the corporate world and you are fully into Dark Sword. It
was like 6-7 years ago now.
Yeah, 6-7 years ago. Time does fly. Yeah, time does fly. Was that how risky was that? Was that big pit in your stomach, walking away from one and fully committing to Dark Sword, your passion and your love?
Michael's still in the corporate world.
Yeah, I am.
No, and I love my
gonna hold.
Yeah, I love my corporate gig. I was in marketing and product development, and I loved what I did. I couldn't do something I didn't like to do. And so I really enjoyed what I did. It was a lot of, I don't know if I could do it now in terms of like start up a company now, and then burn both ends of the candle like I did as a younger Jim, back in my 30s. Because it's like a lot of like 4 or 5 hour nights of sleep, and you're staying up late doing Dark Sword stuff or packing orders or whatever, and you're getting up and heading off to work, the next morning to go do your corporate job. But it kind of became my, like, because I had amassed all my Grenadier and Raw Partha stuff that I had ever wanted as a kid, Dark Sword kind of became my new hobby. And so it kind of worked out but sadly it kind of killed a lot of the miniature painting and stuff that I had done, because, if you're dealing with, the business side of this stuff all night or all day, what have you, on the weekend, you tend to want to do other things, like, when you're decompressing and stuff like that. And so,
sure.
So it was,
frankly,
obviously with everything there's risk, but yeah.
The people that you've gotten to paint your miniatures are, I don't know how good a miniature painter you were, but some of the people painting your miniatures are absolutely fantastic painters. So it'd be hard to eclipse that.
Yeah, I can't, and I've got to, like I said, it's awesome just to kind of sit and look through those and appreciate them and stuff like that. But yes, we work with a lot of fantastic, sculptors and miniature painters to do the studio models. You're obviously not buying them pre-painted. You have to do that yourself. That's where the hobby aspect of it comes in. And so, I still get emails once in a while. It's like, well, I want to buy that one. It's like, yeah, I don't think you could afford that one, buddy. So, it's like, well, how much?
Well,
if I
you
paid
sold
you
your
double,
Jeff
could I
Easley
get
covers, why wouldn't you sell those? Just put a same price tag on them.
Well, that's the key is if the price is right. But I mean, I think a lot of people out there feel like a top level studio paint job should be no more than $20-$30, and it's like, well, if the painter puts in like 10 to 15 hours, you're basically paying them $1 or $2 an hour. Yeah, and so they could make 10 times that working at McDonald's. And these are like, there's only very few people at the top of the pyramid that can paint miniatures at this level, right? And so I just don't think a lot of people understand how much effort it needs to go in to build up the baseline of the pyramid of the skills to get to that top of the pyramid, to be able to actually do a miniature like that in 10, 15 hours, let alone do that type of miniature themselves. And I guess what I always tell people is, like, that's the fun part of the hobby. It's like you can paint up their robes or cloak or boots or sword, whatever colors you want, right? And, oh, I'm not that good of a painter, and, I can never be. It's like, you got, everybody's in that. Michael was that way, Marika, Jen Haley, they all show pictures of like the first miniature that they painted, and they weren't awesome. I mean, like this, I painted this back as like an 11 or 12-year-old or 13-year-old. I can tell you, it's not going to hold up to up close photography really well, right? But you just got to kind of jump in and enjoy the hobby. Like, not everything could be perfect your first time out. So
I see a lot of Dark Sword miniatures included in dioramas. I think there's quite a few of them that are particularly suited to storytelling in a small frame like that.
Interesting. Yeah, I do see a lot of that. I know James Wapple loves to make different dioramas and stuff like that, so you'll see all sorts of cool things from around campfires and whatnot that he likes to work on. And so,
hey, Jim, your board game buddy says hello.
And that would be Rhonda Bender's husband, Kevin. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss you guys.
You're not supposed to say his name though out loud.
Well, he was kind of stumbling there. I wanted to help him out. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
There's a couple different people. There's a few different people we board game with at ReaperCon. Yeah. There's a few different people we board game with. It could be Casey, it could be Pete, it could be Kevin, and so there's a kind of like a core group of people that I will miss dearly here in 3 weeks when they're all having fun slinging dice and playing board games around back here in Minnesota. But it was not in the cards.
Hey,
this
Kevin.
year, so.
Hey, Kevin. That's what she said. It's an inside joke with Kevin.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Hey, Justin. Are you around, bub? You want to show off some miniatures? So, Jim, you just had a miniature release. Was that on Monday? Was that yesterday? Was that on Sunday?
It was like Sunday night, but then we So basically Monday they were available for shipping out. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to show off. I have been for months now, working on a bunch of stuff for Jim and Dark Sword, and I've showed him off on the show, little bits here and there, kind of teased him a little bit as we've gone along. And these are miniatures that are Dark Sword miniatures, just released, and they are sculpted by Jason Wiebe and by Bobby Jackson. And here's the Halfling Scouts. Yeah, these are all Bobby.
Well, right, and so pause here. You've got the one on the right of the screen is your scouts, and then the two from the middle and then to the left are these halflings in disguise. We thought it would be funny to do a version of them where they had the one cloak and they were kind of doing, the people, like kids on each other's shoulders or whatever, trying to pass off and as an adult or whatever you would see. And so we thought that would be kind of a neat thing to try and do, and a fun thing to do, with these particular miniatures. And Bobby just, rocked them out, and he had a lot of fun with them. And you'll notice, like, we made the one on top, the halfling on top, kind of made him a little wider in the midsection and gave him a big gut. So then the poor one on the bottom is like, he's kind of straining and stuff. He's like, man, you're the one that's got to be standing on the shoulders. And so yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. And Michael just did an amazing job on getting these painted up. And so they're a lot of fun. And yes, these are a tip of the cap to some things that have come before, right? From older miniatures of days long gone, type of thing that we wanted to pay homage to. And so,
yeah, totally. All right, what's the next one? Boom.
Ooh, a badger druid. He's sitting down on a stone, by the way, and so there is a stone behind him, and he's sitting on it. And Jason, this is all you. Talk to me, Goose. Tell us about it.
Well, you sent me a piece of art, and happened to be some of the kind of things I'm interested in. And I've done a lot of I've done a lot of critters for you over the years. This one was fun because I believe it's the first time I've done any work based on this artist's work.
Viking Mike. Yep.
Viking Mike. Yeah, I've always looked at his stuff, but I think this is the first time I've had a chance to actually produce something based on it. So it's just a badger druid at rest. He's got his little crook. He's got several kinds of rune stones around him and pouches full of gear, and got some ornaments on the top of his head. I believe there's a little skull on top of his head. Isn't there a skull ornament?
Yep.
If I remember right.
Yeah, a little critter skull. Yep.
Yeah,
it's a crystal.
Yeah, and of course, someone painted it. I don't know who painted it, but it's a wonderful paint job.
Yeah, it's okay. Right. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing. No, Michael painted that, and Jason also did a mole, which will be out later. And Michael painted that one up as well, and so it's really cool. And the mole was a druid too, so it's kind of like and there's a whole line of badgers that Jason.
There's a bunch more coming. Bunch more.
Yeah, that he's gotten various stages and stuff like that, and a whole bunch more moles. There's usually when I have these done, I'll have like 7 or 8, like all your archetypal Dungeons and Dragons or RPG.
Yeah, I think
character classes.
You could do a whole party of badgers or a whole party of moles when we're done, if you want.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So we do the fighters, the druids, the clerics, the mages, the rogues, bards, you name it. And so it's just kind of a fun thing to do for those people looking to spice up their games or just have neat things to kind of bring their kids or wives or friends into it. That they're just a blast to paint. They're just really
Someone
cool.
Says, "Where's his snake?" But that would actually be a honey badger, I think, the snake reference, and we do. Have honey badgers in Jim's line as well.
Yeah, and then Jason, there's some additional honey badger pieces of art that Des Hanley did. That we could kick those your way too once we get the other stuff done. So
once we get the other badgers done.
Yeah.
So tell me about this one. I'm not sure I've seen this one before.
It's new. It's from our Tony DiTerlizzi Masterworks miniature range.
Okay, that figures,
this is Solstice or Faustus Soul Vendor, and he is like this planar. Tony is famous for his work on Planescape. Tony DiTerlizzi is for Dungeons and Dragons, and so we did some planar characters that Tony did new artwork for, and this is one of them. And I love like the owl that Michael, took from the concept art and worked into his tunic there.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about
his robes. That. Yeah.
That
it's
was
really
that
cool.
was Jim.
So.
Yeah, that was some art direction from Jim. Hey, whatever you can do, can you incorporate his drawing, because he has this fantastic owl face on the drawing itself. So I did my best to try to replicate it as much as possible. It's always a little different in 3D from 2D, but yeah, that's a very busy figure. But I had a lot of fun painting that. That was a fun figure.
It's great.
Sculpted by Bobby Jackson.
Yeah.
Bobby did a great job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and Patrick did a couple for this release. He did a dwarf and then like a female planar elf, like a rogue, which is great. And Ian Markin and Jen Greenwald painted those up, and then you painted this one up. And then we also did a planar, like a rogue, dual-wield rogue that Bobby did. So there's like 4 new Tony DiTerlizzi releases. This happens to be one of them. And this is the one, obviously, that Michael Proctor painted up here with a whole mess of miniatures that he painted up for this release, and some future ones. Right. So,
unless I'm mistaken, all of these are in metal as well, right? These are metal miniatures.
Yeah, these are all lead-free pewter. Yep, these are all lead-free pewter. We do have some resin miniatures on our website for some of the larger things, like some dragons and stuff like that, or busts. But 99% of our stuff is old school lead-free pewter. Some of them are multiple pieces. A lot of them are single pieces. So you just kind of take them out and, you glue them together and, prime them up and go. So.
Cool. Hook us up, Justin.
Tremendous piece.
Yeah.
This is talk to me about this one, Michael. Come on, walk us through it.
This was my big sell to Jim, and Ron was on not too long ago, and he actually admitted I was trying to sell Reaper doing this and selling Ron to do this forever, for years and years. I would poke him saying, "Dude, we got to This is probably my favorite miniature from the old Grenadier line. If I had to pick one, this was it, and I wanted it redone." And I sold it. And I tried selling.
You wanted a new version of it. Yeah, you wanted an updated version of it. Yeah,
right.
And he didn't want to start his own miniature company.
No. So finally,
that's what he's got me for. That's what he's got.
I approached Jim and I kind of tapped Bobby a little bit initially because he loves sculpting halflings. And I'm like, I'm gonna approach Jim on this and see what he has to say. And my God, I'm so excited, so happy with this. It almost feels like my own little creation piece because I pushed so hard for it. But Bobby did such a fantastic job. The squirrel, if you can see him in this image, is so cool. He's kind of his lookout. And if you spin it around just into the backside image, if that's possible, Bobby did such a great, right there and then right here, he's helping him sight in with the crossbow. That's what I was thinking about when I was painting it. I love this piece. I can't talk.
Now imagine that tucked in just a few more trees around it, so you don't even notice the guy. Yeah. That'd be a tremendous little vignette.
Yeah, I need. Well,
and two, I do. Yeah, and obviously you'll get those. Everybody can order these up, and so I'll get you out that stuff. But I do want to give a huge tip of the cap to Michael, because the initial stump was just more kind of stumpy, right? And then Michael's like, no, let's put some mushrooms over here. And then he did like the little leveled mushrooms on the front side. I don't know what you call those, where they're kind of like
shell fungus.
Yeah, shell fungus. Shell fungus, yes. And then the little squirrel on the back. Right there. And so Michael really took it he took it from like a 9.2 to like a 9.9 or a 10.0, Olympics. Michael's art direction on this was phenomenal, where he's like, hey, could Bobby do this? And Bobby just was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And that's where, and I just kind of sat back and was like, this is all good to me. Right.
Plus I always like telling Bobby what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Super. You like telling everybody what to do, Michael. You like telling everybody what to do, and so
that's just a bonus.
Let's be open. Let's be honest.
Sometimes we listen to Michael when it's sculpting advice or when it's about miniatures. Yeah. Most of the other times, though, we just blow them off.
Best to ignore it. Yeah. And any other life advice, just ignore me.
Oh yeah, we just let that go by.
So Proctor was
up.
a huge art direction influence on this. Where this
Awesome.
is like,
I like that.
Thank
you.
This is this is a huge. This I just kind of let Michael run with this one because I was like, I'm on board. I get it, right? I get what we're going for here, and it's one of my favorite pieces out of the release as well. So.
Well, and an homage to Bobby too. There's meadow green all in this piece, so I purposefully had meadow green on my palette the entire time to incorporate as much of that, since that is his favorite paint color, Jim, is meadow green by Reaper.
Okay, and if you look at the face, that's actually Bobby Jackson doing a self-portrait when he had hair. And so that's another little factoid too for people. Ago. I know. And so
God, how was it? Was that? But I guess black and white still translates, right?
It was a young Bobby. It was like a 13-year-old Bobby, right? And so it just it kind of worked out, doing a halfling, right? So, but
cool.
You can see the determination in his stare there. So
yes, or constipation. Next one. More scouts.
Yeah, we can.
Maybe some side angles. I tried to mix them up a little bit. Here's the whole gang together. Just fun stuff.
Yep.
And you and Jim, you and Bobby kind of did, like, the initial one was the one on the far right. That was the homage kind of piece. But you had the great idea of having the whole cloak all the way around him, right? And then
I just thought it'd be cool, right?
Yeah, that's fun.
I just thought it'd be a neat little variant, if you will. And funny enough, the variants come in a 2-pack where it's the one with the single cloak pulled over and then the cloak is open, so you could use it in your game. Like, wow, that's kind of a weird looking dude. And then when the big reveal comes, they can swap it out. It's actually 2 halflings. And
I have a really quick question. Are the guys that are standing on the open cloak guys 2 different guys, or did Michael just paint a different design on the tunics on the top guy?
Different designs. Bobby might have tweaked a few little things in there, but I know for the most part
one
they
of them
kind
looks
of were
like
meant
he's
to be a
got
variant
like
set.
a padded tunic on, and one looks like a more flowy tunic. I just wondered if they were 2 different versions.
The one on the right
Bobby might have
is
tweaked
actually the one on the right. If you spun them around, I don't think I sent any back images. There are 2 cloaks, so the top guy has his own cloak and the bottom guy has his own cloak, and the one on the left is one giant cloak on the back
to match the guy in the middle, where they're trying to be in disguise. So
all right, okay. Do we have any other pictures?
Isn't Oliver in there?
No, that's it. That's everything I've got.
I didn't send Oliver. I should have sent Oliver. Did you?
We can do that next time.
Yeah. No. We need to do it today. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. There should have been a little dog.
A little anthropomorphic dog.
Yeah. All right. Hey, go ahead and show the other. Do we have anything else at all? Okay, Justin, I just sent the pictures to you. So yeah, you can just go off screen of the pictures for now until we get the other ones, if that's all right with you, Justin.
Works for me. We have the ones that Jason sent.
Yeah, I just sent you the other ones
near the end.
Yeah, and you can get the Oliver ones. I think that'd be really cool. So we're going to tease that one a little bit while the email goes through. This next one is Christine Van Patten, which is kind of a newer sculptor for you, Jim. Christine's been on the show a couple times as well. She's up and she's been doing fantastic work and
yes.
So and then
Dark Sword and Reaper started working with her right around the same time when she started diving into digital, and she had actually started out kind of slinging putty, the old way. And I thought her stuff had a lot of charm to it and whatnot, but man, when she dove into digital, she just took off and really, just started really kind of coming into her own and having a real unique kind of voice and a style with how she does her stuff. And so, she's just super fun to work with. And Not that you guys aren't fun to work with, but Christine
whatever.
is just
No, we get it.
We get it.
So,
we're old news.
little
That's all right.
backhanded
how
do you-
That's all right.
So
We understand. You're good to work with too, Jim. Yep.
thank you,
Jim. You
Thank
worked with a ton of painters. For those aspiring to up their game and to maybe they have a goal to paint for a company one day or what have you, what do you look for when you're kind of, going, I might want this person to paint something for me? What are you looking for in a new painter to bring onto your stable of painters?
Oh God, I mean, a lot of it is you like to see their body of work out there. Like back in the day when the Cool Mini site was, I don't know if that's still going or not, where people posted their miniatures up on Cool Mini. You'll see people now posting on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of terrific painters out there. For me, one of the big things is obviously USA-based painters, just from a whole shipping and a logistics perspective. And given the fact that Dark Sword's a USA company, I like to work with the painters, here. I've had some painters overseas work on stuff, but it's just kind of onesie twosie type of things over the years. Mm-hmm. What I look for is just, good, crisp, clean details, their attention to detail when it comes to the faces, their blends, and just are they, where do they kind of fit with like their style, right? Is it a super high, like over the top kind of like a GW style, if you will, for lack of a better word, or is it a more kind of a realistic style? I mean, it's just, and I dig it all. So I mean, and if you look at the Dark Sword site, you'll see it's you got from Marika to Proctor to Jen to Kat and Rhonda and everything in between, right? In terms of the styles and like where they go and obviously like Ann Forster is very similar to like Jen Haley with how she kind of paints, and that's on purpose, right? Because those two kind of came up together, coming up through the ranks together and stuff like that. And so Marika kind of developed her own style. Ian Markin, another tremendous style. Jen Greenwald, who's kind of a blend of different things. And so it's just, for me, it's kind of the rule of cool. It's like, if I think it's cool, and I find a lot of cool stuff at ReaperCon when I go, right? Where you look through the painting competition showcase, and that's a fantastic place to go just to learn, level up, take classes, put your stuff in the competition, see what other people are putting on display in the competition, and being able to talk with all of the super talented people that they have in Artist Alley from a sculpting perspective and from a painting perspective. It's just, I've had a lot of fun and got to know a lot of really cool painters and sculptors over the years at ReaperCon that then I bring in to do, some pieces here and there, like Jason Wiebe, Bobby Jackson, Gene Van Horn. I'm never going to get as many miniatures out of them as they sculpt for Ron at Reaper, right? Because they're primarily Reaper sculptors. But, they'll throw some love my way once in a while and, sculpt up the occasional pieces for Dark Sword and stuff like that, right? And so yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's for me, it's the rule of cool. And I guess I would kind of flip that question back on you, Michael, or even Jason, who had to judge like the pug contest for the Tiger Lily that we did at ReaperCon a couple of years ago. Is like, well, what do you look for, right? Because it's like certain things might be like, wow, this is an amazing diorama, it's super creative, and it's a good use of space and a good use of colors. Or another one might be super dialed in and technical, right? From like it's super smooth blends and just or a very subtle, like you really got to get in there and kind of take a look at it. So I guess from your perspective, Michael, as a judge at ReaperCon, what are you looking for, right? Like when you're checking out miniatures.
So when I'm checking out a miniature for a competition, or if I was going to put myself in your shoes, or when I think about painting a miniature for a studio, it's kind of a little bit different. When I'm painting for Reaper or for you, I'm really trying to make sure that everything that, for instance, Jason sculpted, I'm capturing and showcasing. That I'm saying, okay, he sculpted this little trinket on the piece, this flower, this whatever. I want to make sure that all of those little pieces show up because that's important in the sale of the piece. So if I'm doing a studio piece for you, Jim, or for Reaper, that is a key thing for me. Now, for a competition piece, I'm less focused on that and more focused on the overall visual impact, because you could just have an OSL where certain things bleed away and details bleed away, yet it's impactful and it's the holy shit, that's really freaking cool vibe. That's kind of what grabs me in judging, and then I see that and go, wow, that's really nice, and then I'll start looking at the details. Look at that. Who we got here? So this is Oliver. So a little story on this. This was my wife's mother had rescued this little Cairn Terrier years ago, and when we first went down and visited, we almost took him home with us. Even though we had Kaya and Zoe, they stayed at home, and he was just so sweet and so awesome. And his name was Paco when he lived in New Mexico. Paco Taco. That's what his mom wanted to call him. That's what Michelle's mom. And he was funny. But she passed away, and we said, let's bring him home. So we kind of rescued him in a way, and he came to live with us. And at the time, Kaya, our second golden retriever, was getting on up there in age, and she'd had a couple of knee surgeries, and he kind of became her little goat. Like racehorses, when they retire, they'll pair him up with a goat, and they'll be friends and they'll hang out together. He became her little buddy, training partner. He helped her basically rehab by running around. She had to keep up with him. Wow. So that's kind of why. Okay. And he was always this little devious little thief. So that's kind of wanted to have him with that. You see the little flower in this picture. Yep. You can see the inside of his coat, and there's a little rose. And that was Michelle's mom's name was Rose. And that's why I painted that.
Oh, man.
Very nice.
That's amazing. I did not know that. That, folks. Yeah. So that's awesome, Michael. Yeah. An amazing paint. And Christine did such a good job on the sculpt. And we had artwork done up for it. And, Michael was very involved with kind of, when I do homage pieces, I talk with the human about your dog or cat's personality. What sort of character would that be for like a role-playing game type of thing? And we come up with something fun, right? And obviously this is kind of a roguish little dude, and man, it's just so cool. So
yeah, she did a fantastic job. And she did such an amazing job with the face. That face, the photograph that I sent Jim for the initial artwork and stuff, she's just nailed it. It's so cool. Really enjoyed that piece. So yeah, I'm happy we got to show it off today. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And then obviously we got tributes coming up from Jason and stuff like that for Frankie and Enzo and whatnot that were, I've already got Metal Masters of. Yep. But we'll have to hop back on the show when those go to release, down the road. And, the world can see those in all their glory, all their metal glory. So,
right. No, that's awesome. So, Justin, you can get rid of the picture if you want. So again, we are getting we're at the top of the hour. Jim's kind of has a hard stop. Poke Tools are out there. So for this episode, for every 3 subs, we're going to be giving away 1 Crow's Nest Poke Tool and a $30 gift certificate to Dark Sword Miniatures. So 3 subs and hashtag free it, and let's start.
Get
do you want to do the drawing
subs
now?
And your hashtag freeze in pretty quick here. I mean, we got a couple more.
Well, we're going to do like
show.
how many gift certificates do you want to do, Michael? Like 2 or 3, or for Dark Sword?
How about as many Poke Tools as we give away? Because we generally give away 3 or 4 Poke Tools on a show. So about 3 or 4 gift certificates. Is that okay?
Sure. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't know. I
want to give them away to the people that get the Poke Tools, or do you want to just give 6 total things?
I don't care. 6 total things, or
spread the love
things we give away. Yeah, I say spread them out if you don't mind, Michael.
I will say we are currently at 7 Poke Tools.
7 Poke Tools. So do you want to
I'm not getting one. I'm not getting one.
Yeah.
No, you'll get a Poke Tool. Are you good with 7 gift certificates?
Well, let's cap that off at 3 or 4. Let's do 4 gift certificates. Yeah,
we'll do
yeah.
7
let's do
Poketool
that.
drawings.
Yeah, we want you to be able to
Yeah.
eat tonight. I mean,
Yeah. We're going to draw 7 Poketools. We're 7 Poketools. And then we're going to do 3 gift certificates at $30.
Okay.
I mean
Perfect.
that
I like
Uber
a nice-
McDonald's stuff is getting expensive.
I'm going to go ahead and draw
But before
those
we do
now.
this, I wanted to show off those other pictures before we drew, because maybe we'll get some more in.
Okay.
Is that
let's
okay?
see. That's fine.
Yeah, Jason
Like the
sent over
pictures
some
that
stuff.
Jason sent in.
Oh, I sent over
yeah.
a couple of new T-shirt designs that are going to go up on the Reaper T Public account. I think if you look through chat, there's a link to the T Public merchandise, and I don't know if they went up today or if they're going up today. But the first day that they're up, there's usually a discount. So here's a couple of shirts.
Boom.
Get
your shit together.
Get your ship together. Anyone that has one of Chris Lewis's astounding pirate ship should have one of those. That's the graphic for it. That's
But where's the lighthouse, Jason?
Sculpture.
Jason, where's the lighthouse that guides the ship?
I can't talk about the lighthouse. We've been banned.
But where is it?
Lighthouse
That's all I
is
hear
banned.
is the lighthouse.
Okay.
Whales.
Now
and
this
King
is one of my
Kongs.
favorites. This is Party Like a Barty. One of the backstories to this year's ReaperCon is the Barty brothers have taken over part of the recruitment drive in Brinewind or Dreadmere, and they're looking to recruit a bunch of other hagfish infested nasty ass pirates. So Party Like a Barty.
Nice.
There's Captain Barty himself. I thought Party Like a Barty just had to be done.
Yeah, Captain Barty. Cool. Is that it?
Very cool.
it?
All right. Do you want me to read off
Thanks
the
for
names?
showing that,
That's
Justin.
always fun.
Absolutely.
That's always fun.
And yeah, you
All right,
can.
here we
Read
go.
them off.
All right. I'm ready.
All right, let's start with the
Ready.
Poketools here.
Poketool, 7 Poketools. So 7 names. Lady Dire
Okay.
Doggo. You are a winner. No, you're not a
Nope,
winner.
that's not. I
You
have not
subscribed.
announced it yet.
No,
Ready?
Lady Dire Doggo, you did not win yet. All right,
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, first name.
No, you didn't win, lady. Okay, I'm ready. First name. Nefarious. Is that right? Nefarious.
Nepharsis.
Nepharsis. Nepharsis has won a Poketool. Boom, boom.
Oh, bear with us, Jim. This is always painful to hear Michael read these.
Bestiaria Archivist.
I'm just looking at your pugs, Jason.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
You won a Poketool. That's number
You
2.
can flash
Number
them
3,
on the screen, the metal ones, while we're reading.
Rings won. This Rings already has a Poketool. This is Rings' second
Oh,
Poketool.
look at that.
That's pretty
That's
awesome.
my little Enzo.
Yeah. Oh, look at
And
that.
Frankie the Nose. So
Frankie the Nose.
he's a mobster. Yeah, he's a mobster. a mobster.
Pendrake TG. Hold on, Jim. Pendrake TG. Poketool goes to you. Obi
Me?
Tony Kyobi. Now, Obi Tony Kyobi has been drawn for the giveaway.
Kenobi,
to win
that's a good one.
Poketool. Yeah. And then Sierra Fire also gets a Poketool.
And then the last
And
Poketool.
no Big Jim, it's not rigged. And because if it was rigged, Jim, they would give me names that I could actually read.
Right, this is
me?
Sarducci.
Oh, okay. I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking at pugs.
Sarducci.
Okay, now for the 3 $30 gift certificates, we'll be giving away 3 of those.
All right, here we go.
Sure.
All right, here we go. Roger Gwiz.
Roadress.
What is it? Roger Grizzlies. Roger Grease.
I think it's
Little Les
Road
Nessman
Res,
there.
but
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a
I
Les
regret
Nessman
coming
going
on this show. I regret this.
Right.
Do ya?
This
That's
is-
number 1. Number 2.
An hour
Number two.
an hour I can't get back. I just
Oh, Gene.
Oh my gosh,
Gene
now
won
it's
a
rigged.
$30 gift certificate.
See,
that
now
is
we
rigged.
know
Mean
it's
Gene?
rigged. Gene won.
Hey, I won.
Gene won.
Gene won.
What the heck?
Yeah,
Man.
and so the last gift,
The fix
last
is
gift
in.
certificate. Last
fix
gift
is
certificate
in.
is Anki 2014. You are a
There we
winner.
go.
You are a
Wow,
winner.
and thank
chicken
you
dinner.
for an easily pronounced name, Anki.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's probably Ankai. After we said that, it's probably Ankai.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll do this for the people that
Hashtag
write an
real.
email in. If you won the gift certificate,
Yeah.
I will have Courtney, who processes these, forward me the email for it, and then I will process it probably by passing on the correct information to Michael and then to Jim or to Jim, whoever.
Whatever
You have
works.
Jim's email.
Yeah.
Cut out the middleman. I'll lose it. I don't want to be.
Yeah, you can just CC. You can CC me. Just CC me on the email, and then they can hit reply all and just list out the miniatures that they want, and I'll just get it to them. Yeah.
All right.
Except for Gene.
Perfect.
I don't think we should send any to Gene. So,
slap.
I'm teasing.
Jim, without knowing it, you drove the bus over Gene. See the get on or get under logo? That's the theme of the show is to drive over, man. Come on,
I love
man.
Gene.
Never.
It's like me and Gene.
I'll have an announcement on the
you,
buses
Gene.
too in the next. Probably by the time you come back from your vacation, I'll have an announcement on the buses.
Okay. All right, so programming note: next week, there will not be a crow's nest. I'm going to be camping. We are going and finding dark skies in Colorado where there's no light, so we can see all the stars at night. That's something that Michelle wants to do. So we're going to go dark skies camping. And do we want to go over the shows now? One of the traditions we have, Jim, is talking about the upcoming Twitch shows.
This is another agonizing bit.
So
hang on to your seat.
You want to do it without the help?
Yeah, I kind
Right,
of do. Yeah.
All right. So every
not
Monday
without
through
the help.
Friday.
Oh, dig in, everybody.
Ann Forrester does Reaper Toolbox.
Anne's
something
amazing.
Like that, where
Anne is amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. She paints for an hour.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
Great instructor too.
Jim watches the show every day while he's packing up miniatures.
No, I don't.
On Twitch.
No, I don't.
So
But I've seen snippets of all your guys' shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And,
sure you have.
I've never seen Ed and Dave and Ron jibber jabber as much as I've seen them on Reaper Live. That's some serious jibber jabbering. And so they get going. So
what night is that show on, Jim?
We'll send you the Crow's Nest blooper reel.
Isn't that Thursdays? Isn't Reaper Live on Thursdays?
Yeah.
See, I know these things.
What time?
6
time
o'clock.
on Thursday?
6.
There
It's
you
gotta
go.
be 6.
You could do this.
Depends on
See,
where you're at.
I know this stuff.
It's on at 4 o'clock here in God's country.
So what's on Mondays?
Central Time,
what
I think
shows?
it's 6. Yeah.
Yeah. What shows on Mondays?
Anne's.
Yeah. And we have a new show on Mondays afternoons. Rhonda Bender.
No way,
Bender.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rhonda Bender
Rhonda's amazing too.
Breaking something.
I should just quit Dark Sword and watch these podcasts all day.
Beyond the Kit?
Then I can do that.
Beyond the Kit. Rhonda.
Beyond the Kit
paints.
for Rhonda? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rhonda, and she usually gets a couple hours. And then on Tuesday.
And Rhonda did the Learn to Paint kits.
That's
So you know
what's
she's
called
good.
Beyond the Kit.
So.
See, it works
Yes.
together. There's a synergy
It's a play on
there.
words. It's like a play on words.
Right.
Beyond the Kit. Okay, I get it.
Right.
I get you.
It's
So-
tremendous.
Don't you like it when the light bulb goes on, Jason, and you
Ding.
just see his eyes light up and he
Man.
finally gets it? I mean, I know,
It's
right?
just-
Beyond
Kind
the
of fun to
Kit.
watch it. It's fun to watch.
I've got 2
Um,
of each kit for my daughters to learn to paint Rhonda style.
Hey,
Then
Jim. Hey,
I
Jim.
can do away with people like Michael. And so, but-
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jim.
Put them to work.
What's on Tuesdays? What's on Tuesdays?
Oh, Crow's Nest. The Crow's Nest.
Crow's Nest.
That light
Yep.
bulb. Did you see that? Did you see it, Jason? The light bulb kind of
I
dimmed out
did.
for a second, then it
did.
popped back in. It was awesome.
Well, I thought it was a
I
trick
believe
question,
it-
but
I
I'm like,
believe
wait a minute,
Anne's
today's
show is-
Tuesday. And so
And show is Tuesday morning where I'm at, and then the
Yeah,
Crow's
yeah,
Nest.
yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
And then Wednesday we do Ann again. Ann's on every single day. She starts around 10:30.
Wow.
She goes around.
Ann has a
11.
lot
Ann is a
to teach.
hard-working painter.
12.
And
She
could
is.
teach
She's a
every day, and
phenomenal
we'd
teacher,
never learn
too.
what she knows.
No.
Yep.
And then
she's a
after
phenomenal
that,
teacher. So's Rhonda. Yeah.
in the afternoons on Wednesday, we go all Euro. We go to Italy. We teleport
Wow.
to Italy with Luca.
Worldwide.
Yeah,
Nice.
Luca.
Nice.
Luca's on.
Is a
nice-
Reaper is
worldwide
everywhere.
painting network.
Yeah.
Reaper is
yeah.
everywhere.
Not
They really are.
Internet.
I don't know
National,
if
so.
we have, Justin hasn't confirmed about first floor, second floor. We're not really sure yet, but that's Wednesdays. On Thursdays, Jim doesn't get that reference. I could see it in his face. On Thursdays, we got Ann's in the morning, and then we have Josh.
Reaper Live.
Josh with no, not yet. Josh
Oh,
comes on. Josh Foreman. He's really creative guy. We had him on the show. He does all kinds of.
It really is a unique show. I watched it the other day, and it grows on you. He does a lot of really neat stuff, and it really is kind of on a little bit of an edge of our hobby, but it's wonderful.
Yeah. Nice.
And then, Jim, after that is the Reaper Live.
Nice. Okay.
So, yeah, and that's a show that has a lot of people paying attention.
The flagship show.
They give away a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
And then
the Jibber Jabberin, it happens on Thursday nights. I've seen the Jibberin and the Jabberin, so it's pretty good.
Then on Fridays,
it's next level. So
on Fridays we got Ann again, and then we have Reaperland.
Is Ann on every day?
Every single day.
Ann on every day?
I don't know how she does it.
Really? She's a machine. Holy moly!
Right. And then after that is Reaperland. Have you ever heard of Reaperland?
No. What do they do in Reaper? Do they reap?
Yeah.
Is it reaping?
Brother Dave,
and sowing.
And John,
they reap and sow.
John.
But it's not always what it's not. They don't always reap what they sow. Sometimes they sow something totally different than what they reap.
Yeah, they play marble games too. Yeah, they talk about all.
It's like that Monty Python sketch, It's Mr. Death. He's a reaper.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Oh, it's a very good show. Again, it's offbeat. I mean, it is offbeat, but it's a great show.
But what do they do in Reaperland besides reap? What do they do?
Pop culture. They talk about pop culture. They play marble games. They
like
banter.
marbles,
Lots
like
of banter.
marbles?
I think banter is a good. Well, digital marbles, not your kind of marbles. Not the kind we all lost already. The ones that you can keep recreating.
Yeah. And so this is Reaperland. Who does Reaperland?
Reaperland is John and Dave, brother Dave.
Brother Dave.
Oh,
Dave Pugh.
Dave Pugh. Oh, okay.
Dave Pugh.
I didn't. When
you
guys have nicknames for everybody, you like Brother John or Brother Dave. I'm like, that could be like a man of the clergy. It could be the brother of Ed. It could be,
No, he's unaffiliated as far as I know. Non-denominational and unaffiliated.
Church of Cthulhu. The Church of Cthulhu. So
no, not even that.
Okay.
Bobby Jackson, I do this all for you, just so you know. And then on Fridays, every other Friday. So this Friday is an important Friday, Jim. Every other Friday.
Okay. Yeah, if you missed this,
this is the number one show. The number one show on Twitch is Reaper Errant. Reaper Errant. It's on Friday, every other Friday night. Yes. Have you not heard of this? Where have you been?
Is this where you guys go play Dungeons and Dragons, but you like you like simulcast?
It is with one of the top Twitch dungeon masters, Frank.
Oh,
yeah. Critical Role Critical Role's approached us and has been trying to steal us away, but we won't go.
No, I can see that. I mean, I don't really watch that either, but I know
Frank
it's very popular.
Frank from Knights Errant and Ann from Knights Errant, they run that show for us, and it's wonderful.
Yeah,
nice.
Frank from Nightheart Gaming, and
nice.
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
great. You should watch it sometime.
That's every other Friday.
I'm sure you do.
So.
Every other Friday, and then once a month or whenever he gets his shit together, Aaron does a airbrushing show on Friday nights.
The House of Vex. The House of Vex. I know that show, and so I've got a Vex. I bought a Vex just to be, to go with my Patriot. And so
I bought a Vex too,
and I got one for free. And then on Saturdays,
aren't you big and cool? I mean, Rhonda, do you believe this guy?
He's got 3 of my Sophies already.
Rhonda got one for free too.
Oh boy!
And then on Saturdays, don't forget about this platinum painting, platinum with Sadie.
That's not on Saturdays anymore.
What is it? What is it?
It's under construction. We're relocating it.
Okay. So soon there will be. Will it still be called Painting Platinum?
Yeah.
To my knowledge, it will be. Yes.
Okay. Cool. That's another good painting show, especially if you're a beginning painter. That's a great show.
Okay.
So look for that when it's rebooted.
Okay.
See, look at all the information you learned today, Jim.
There's lots of shows
in this year and out the other. And so, no, I know. Well, I knew a bunch.
You can
of
watch
these,
them
so
live, or you can watch them on YouTube. There's no excuse to miss any of this stuff.
No. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
You
so,
can watch them when you're sleeping. Listen to that banter all night long.
That would be cool if
just
you could
think-
do that. Learn while you
Just
sleep.
think of the
That would be
dreams
pretty
you
cool.
could have. Oh my gosh.
No. Nightmares. Nightmares, I say, with
Well,
you two.
so one guy's nightmares, another guy's dreams. You know how that goes.
See,
Well,
see,
you know.
Jason, see, Jason, he had a hard stop at the top of the hour, but I knew we'd drag him in.
Oh, no. The wife
did.
popped in twice behind me. She popped in twice, and then now she just texted me, so I do need to bounce because, they are getting restless. But this was super fun.
Thank you for that
I don't
extra
know if,
17 minutes. Thank your wife for that extra
Yeah.
17 minutes.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
I want to thank all the people for joining us today. All the people. Bobby. I guess I'll thank Bobby, but especially Gene. Gene won today. I'm so proud of Gene for winning. Bob and Julie, thanks for joining us. And Rhonda. I saw Aaron Hartwell. I saw Greg Zuniga.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah.
Greg?
I saw.
There was lots of
Patrick
people.
Heath.
It's so hard because we mention
Patrick?
people, but we miss mentioning people too. There's a lot of people that join. We're very happy to see all of you every week.
Yeah.
Well, except when
I would
Michael
mention-
goes
Was this
on
your
vacation
highest show
to
ever,
look at the
Michael?
stars.
Michael,
No,
was this
it's
the
probably
most
one of our
ever that
lower
dialed
rated.
in live?
Oh no.
No, I don't
No,
think
it's
it
probably
really
one of
was.
our
It was
lower
like-
rated
you were,
ones.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was one of our lower.
I don't
ones.
know any of the stat stuff or whatever, and so
No. Ed,
just coming
Ed
on,
was
cutting it
Ed
up
was
with you guys, chopping it
1.5
up.
million viewers when we had Ed on.
Yeah.
Nice, 1.5 million.
No, I'm just
So-
kidding. It wasn't 1.5 million. It was
If it
mostly
was, that
people
would be
wanting to know
impressive.
where their bones shipment was.
I got mine right away when the Bones. I get all my Bones Kickstarter shipments super quick. You just let the good folks at Reaper do their thing, and wow, one day it shows up.
Oh man, and
it's
did they
interesting
ever?
how that works. And
Did
they
they
did.
ever?
Thanks, Chamber of
So-
Miniatures. So we're gonna jump off now.
Patrick Chambers too, huh? Cool.
Yeah. Chamber of Miniatures. Thank you so much. Metal Chaos Studio again. Thank you very much. We're out of here. Jim, you're awesome, dude. Thanks a lot, dude. You're awesome. You're amazing.
I don't know how
dude.
this is
Go have
coming
fun,
in.
dude. Yeah.
Hey, I'll miss all you guys at ReaperCon, but for those folks going, have fun, be well, be safe, be smart, and I look forward to hearing all sorts of fun stories from the convention. So that'll be cool.
Go check out darkswordminiatures.com.
Yeah, please.
If you want to. Otherwise, it's not a big deal. So,
Do it.
So,
Do it. I need
lots
the
of cool
work.
stuff. You guys. You got plenty of stuff teed up, Jason, and
I know.
so you get to it.
But you got to keep
what's
selling it
Proctor
or I
doing some
won't.
kung fu? He's doing some kung fu.
Kung
So,
Kung Fu.
all right, all you guys be awesome. And how do I get out of this thing?
You don't.
just
Hang
close
up,
it.
How
dude.
do I?
See ya. Bye-bye.
How do you hang up?
Bye-bye.
How do
Stay
you
here
Bye-bye.
till you see the
Just
screen go by.
click
or
the red
whatever it is.
phone? Is that it? Click the red phone.
Yes, the red
We're
phone.
You've been a
All right.
spectacular guest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm clicking on the
Technology.
little bus.
We'll
that's
have
to
you
get
on
onto the
sometime
bus.
in the next decade. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Technology is
gonna hold my breath waiting for that. But you guys have fun.
I wouldn't
It'd
if
be
I were
awesome.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not
All
holding
right.
my breath. I'm sorry. Take care, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good talking to you.
Thank you guys.
Late.
Have a great rest of y'all's day. We're gonna be rating Monument Slow Fuse. Say hi for us. And have a great rest of your week.
Stay safe, everybody. Thanks for
Fantastic.
joining us. See you in a couple weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you guys.